Welcome to the Trails Committee meeting tonight, April 12th, and I'm calling the meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. And I will start with a roll call vote. When I say your name, please let me know, or vote roll call attendance, let me know that you're here. Satyendra Sharma.
Here.
Tom McCoy.
Here.
Isabella Bogdansky.
Here.
Great, and Kat McKee. And Tony Schoner is also in attendance, as well as Shannon. How do you say your last name, Shannon?
It's Knyman.
Knyman is also, and Shannon is a visitor, and Tony is our associate member. So welcome. Okay, so we're going to start with the first order of business is the mental health awareness hike that we are working to put in place for May. And remind me again, that's May 15th is the Sunday? Is that right?
Yes, May 15th.
May 15th. And I think we just received some good news. So I'm going to turn it over to Bella to share the good news that she has come up with.
Yes, we did just get good news. Finally, after asking several people and hearing no, we're busy, we finally got this woman named Erin Flowers to help guide a hike with us. Yeah, she's super excited about it. Yeah, she just asked me if there's like any important things that she would like to know about the hike in preparation, such as like demographics or like the specific time that it's at, and like yeah, just general questions.
Wonderful. So that's great. Thank you so much, Bella, and thank you for all of your work. We had a couple people come forward, which is going to actually open up some opportunities for some future engagement, which is really exciting. So thank you, Shannon, for coming up with the idea in the first place. That opens this door up. So Bella, tell us a little bit about Erin's background. Like, will this be a guided hike focused on, like, does she have a background in mental health, or will this be more of, we can focus that fact that exercise is really good for mental well-being and such? What was your take on her background?
Yes, so I'm trying to find her website again. I can send a link to the description of it so you all can see. But she does forest bathing. She has a certification in the Association of Nature and Forest Therapy. She also is a licensed mental health clinician, and she's worked with mental health and substance abuse victims her entire career. So she, acts as a counselor and steps people into the outdoors to heal, adapt, and develop themselves. That's what she says in her description.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I can send this link to you guys.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, wonderful. So we can connect offline about some of the details that we'll talk to her about. And so Shannon, share with us any additional thoughts that you have as far as important points that we should be bringing up. Is there, for example, in our advertising and outreach, when we share this, right, we're going to want to draft a description of the hike. And so we could certainly run that by you to ensure that Southborough Youth and Family Services is on board with the way we're framing it. We would probably want to have a little about Southborough Youth and Family Services, and perhaps a little bit about Mental Health Awareness Month, right? So that's where you can kind of help us provide that language. Any links to different sites that you want us to include in that description or any of the materials. So we're kind of giving people some resources.
Okay.
So do you have any thoughts? And it's okay if you need a little time to figure that out, but any thoughts on anything?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much. This is super exciting. I'm so bowled over. This is great. Let's see. I can definitely get that information to you guys so that we can, get something rolling. We're starting to put together our things on our end for all the different things that are going on for Mental Health Awareness Month. We're putting together There'll be a tab on the town website, and we're putting together a calendar and things like that. So I didn't know if you guys had any further details, because we're gonna do it, we know, on the Sunday of the 15th, is that
Yeah.
right? I don't have it in
is that
front of
the
me.
date? I know, right? I'm asking, I can't remember. My calendar's not switched on the wall, which is,
Yeah,
it is the
so
15th, yes.
15th, and I think we said 2 o'clock.
I think we might have said 1. Does any?
Maybe we said 1, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It is 1, will 1 work? I think we were trying to get around the church schedule,
Yes,
and
yes.
mass gets out at noon, so we thought 1
Yep.
might be the next best.
Yep.
And that's kind of closer than, it's still in the middle of the day, but it's less.
Yep.
in the middle of the day.
So I guess my questions to you guys, and maybe this is still getting, shaken out, is which trail are we using? Would it be like one hike that's happening, or would she lead it a few times? Just so that we can start advertising on our side. And then as you get more information, we can of course bolster what we have.
Yeah, so that's a great question, and we're probably going to have to work out some of those details, but I want to
Sure.
ask Ella and the committee. So if Erin's specialty is forest bathing, right, and we want to provide a forest environment and atmosphere to do that, there's a couple of options in town. We have the town forest, which is town owned. And we have Beals Preserve, not we, but Beals Preserve is an option. Beals Preserve, and then we have Breakneck Hill, and Breakneck Hill is more open trails, but there are some wooded trails. So there's a variety at Breakneck Hill. So I guess the committee would need to kind of think about a best option for this type of walk. And if we do Beals, then we could also, it would be more of a partnership with Southborough Open Land Foundation, similar to what we did last year, Shannon, because Debbie Costine, the vice president of SOLF, actually led that hike. And that was a nice collaboration. SOLF is really nice to work with. So that might be something for us to consider. So we can talk about that today. You're welcome to stay online with us when we figure that out, but we understand we can get you that information. But let's talk timeline of when you were hoping to have some of that information. Like, when are you blasting out your first PR where you'd want all that information in place?
I don't think that we have a hard date for that. The sooner the better. And like I had said, we can be a little bit nebulous with it. If we were able to find out the where, that would be a good start anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another question that I had for you guys, it sounds like maybe this is something you're working on your side, but like a flyer, or, is that something you need help with, something that we can do, or is that something you guys would do?
Yeah, so I think what we might do, Shannon, is an Eventbrite, similar to what we did last time, and have registration, because it's really helpful to be able to gather the email addresses in case we had to communicate with the registrants. We also have them fill out a volunteer waiver, and if it's relevant at the time, COVID waiver. So doing that all online has been such an easy and streamlined approach. So that Eventbrite, and you're familiar with those types of services. You just basically have a full description, and it serves as an electronic flyer of sorts. If what you need is an additional, do you need another PDF, something that we could take all that language and put it into a PDF for some reason, we're happy to make that happen as well.
Yeah, that would be great, because then it can also live on our website. And the idea is that we have this main flyer that's going on so that people know all the different things. And then, we're telling people, go to the website so that you can learn more, so that you can register for this, register for that. So if they go to our website, they'll know about the hike. They'll be able to click on the link and then sign up from there.
Get it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do both, the Eventbrite and the flyer. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think, we'll want to talk, Bella, you can tell me, we'll want to talk to Erin about her desired atmosphere, like what environment is going to work best for her and what she has kind of planned. So from there, we can figure out the location. I mean, I think, so realistically, we would get you something by, it would be most helpful to have something by the end of the week. Is that what I hear?
Yeah, I think that that would be fine.
Now, can I stretch that and say, if we got you something by Monday, that would give us some weekend time to kind of finalize some, because we have a couple of other things going on. How different of a feeling would that be for a receipt?
I think, like I had said, I think that it's fine. We have the date, we have the time. And as it gets fleshed out, we can just kind of continue to change on our end to be like, stay tuned, here's some more information. Yeah, so it's fine.
Because we could create a shell of an Eventbrite, come up with a name, a shell with not much there. So you would have a link. I don't know how useful that is, but do you know when you're like, how are you releasing your first PR blast? Like, is it going to be in My Southborough, or are you doing Facebook posts? Do you have?
So we'll do all of that. Once we have a little bit more information about different things, we will, we'll send it out to so generally we send things out in the backpacks at school, we send them out to My Southborough, we send it out, Facebook, our friends' Facebook pages. What other things do we do? Those are the ones that come to mind. So we have some stuff up. I think now that we've started to just kind of be like, hike on the 15th kind of thing, that people know that it will be coming, but they don't know the information.
Yeah.
And
the reason I'm not trying to interrogate you.
Yeah, no.
It's more that when you go live on, and this is my perspective, because we're doing another hike too now, when you go live on My Southborough, you want your stuff ready, right? Because one time it takes 3 seconds for someone to look and then never come back. Right. So I was hoping that maybe we could make sure our stuff is in place. So when you do go live on the larger channels that are real, like the backpacks, I don't know if that's already happened and stuff, that we have that information ready.
I think that needs to go to the school. It's Thursdays that the packets go out. So I think it would be fine if it went out on the 21st with the schools. So if you were able to get me stuff for Monday, I think that would be fine.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. And I'm just, because there's a lot going on with the bylaw, with the other hike, with the dog waste education campaign, and things like that. So I'm just trying to be realistic. And then I think tax day is Friday, right? So we have to do taxes in there somewhere. Someone does. Okay, perfect.
One suggestion. So
please.
Would it make sense for Erin to look at the trails, to have her, one of the trails
feel it out?
Figure it out.
Yeah. Definitely, but it depends on where Bella can speak a little bit to her location and whether she has availability and time to do that in the short term. I mean, we could certainly send her some, it's not the same thing, but we could send her some pictures to kind of get a sense, just a visual sense. But I'm totally with you about the actual feeling and being with the trails. So Bella, do you have a sense? Do you know where she's located?
I don't know specifically where she's located. In her bio, it says Central Massachusetts, but I will give her a call tomorrow at some time to just talk over some questions that we have and see what she's most comfortable with for ideal forest settings, if that's what she wants to go by. And then, depending on her response, I can send her pictures of the different locations to see what she prefers, and if she would be able to have time to come out too, that would be great. So I'll ask that as well.
I'm a little concerned. Thank you. I'm a little concerned that if she's like, oh, I could come this weekend, and then I guess we could have all this description ready and stuff, and then be something like that. But if she can't come for a couple weeks, then that's where I would say, okay, we're going to have to probably do some virtual scoping.
Okay.
And we could be creative with this and do some live streams with her. We could walk through the forest with the phone. I mean, hey, technology has really brought us all into this world of anything is possible.
Yeah, that would be great too, if that works.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Good.
most likely that, she's going to be doing mindfulness stuff, that it's more a case of she can work with what she's working with, that she's going to want people to be able to use senses. So, someplace that has a lot of bird song, a place that has flower smells, so I guess that would be one,
That's a good
some
point.
feedback that would be good for her would be like, where do you feel like when you're hiking in town, do you get the most, you know what I mean? Like it really speaks to your senses.
Yeah, and Breakneck Hill has, well, both actually have dogs. So I was thinking, because Breakneck Hill, I always hear the birds, but at 1 o'clock, and then they're usually morning or evening, you know what I mean? So you kind of get a sense, different sense. But yeah, that's a really good point. But Breakneck Hill has wonderful pollinator gardens, and I don't know does anything bloom by mid-May? Something.
Lily of the valley, most of the time. That is like fragrant.
Yeah.
So, and the other place could be the one that we saw, Kat, when behind the cemetery. Is like peaceful, and that has lot of lily of the valleys.
Oh, the trail behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's great feedback. Thank you, Shannon. Gives us food for thought. Okay. Great. So we will talk and then get you something to, if you, in the meantime, I guess, if you wanted to share a little blurb. Now I have last year's Southborough Youth and the Youth and Family Services blurb, but maybe you have just a few sentences you'd want to include on the Eventbrite and the PDF, and then as well as anything specific to mental health awareness that you want to bring attention to, that we should be including as really valuable pieces. We would be happy to receive that from you. Okay.
Yep, I can get you that as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Great.
Does anyone on the committee have any other questions? Tom McCoy, I have someone in the audience that's raising their hand. Oh, it's Tom. How is he? Poor guy. He's probably wanted to talk this whole time. He's usually the guy that watches the attendance too. So this is hey, Tom.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. So were you able to hear us at least?
Oh yeah, I heard everything.
Oh, okay. Do you have any thoughts or questions or?
Nope.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you, Shannon, very much. And thank you,
I
Bella,
do have a
Tom,
quick
for all of
question.
you. Oh, of course.
Yeah, just how long do you think this hike would be? Just to see if she wants to know.
I think 60 to 90 minutes is a ballpark that we could shoot for. And it just depends, right? It depends on how she wants to frame it. If she wants it to stick to 1 hour, we stick to 1 hour. If we want a little flexibility on each end, we can do that. Does that
Okay,
sound
perfect. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. And then I'll talk to you, Bella, about some questions and stuff that we can talk about. And
yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again, Shannon. We're really looking
Thank you.
forward to this and great.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, you too.
Nice job, Bella, and Tom, for all of the effort. I really appreciate that. So this is exciting. And Tony, are you filled in enough to know what we're trying to accomplish? Because I think we had talked about it a couple meetings ago, but I don't know.
Yep. No, I've been following along, so thank you.
Awesome. Good. Okay, great. So a couple considerations. So we are currently, the Trails Committee, you may recall, did a joint grant it's the Dog Waste Education campaign that we're doing with Stewardship. And as part of that Choate Fund grant, there's a guided hike. Okay. And so that guided hike is to the town forest, and it's there to highlight the new trail signs that were installed, that were paid by the grant. And it was, you recall the trail naming survey we sent out in February, I think it was. So the trail names were narrowed down, and now those have been posted. So part of the hike is to help celebrate and the unveiling of those signs, but also the person leading the hike, his name is Dan Harvey. He has over 30 years as an environmentalist and outdoor educator. And so he's focused on children and adults, so he could do any level. So we've posted that guided hike this morning on Southborough Share and Care. And so that Eventbrite's live, and in the next coming days, we're going to be posting that out and about throughout town. We're trying to get ahead of the school vacation week, which is technically starting on Good Friday. So we only have a few good days left. The limit on that is 20 people. But if you guys, as the Trails Committee, want to attend, the people in the Trails Committee want to attend, you're welcome to. You don't have to register. Just send me an email and let me know. It's going to be on the 24th at 1 p.m. at the Town Forest, which is on Woodland Road. And I'll send you the link to the registration page just so you can read the description. And if you want to share it with any friends that you think would be interested, feel free. The reason we're limiting it is because of the parking. There's parking along Woodland, but it can get kind of tricky. And the size of the group, we want to make sure there's a quality experience. So I wanted to let you guys know that, as well as the timing of how we advertise this hike. So this is part of the stewardship committee, Trails Committee thing, is part of a larger, it just got posted today, Earthpalooza. Have you guys seen the My Southborough on that? It's how do I describe it? I just want to get it right.
You said it is on
Planetpalooza.
April 24th.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen so you see it. Okay. Do you guys see this site now? Okay, great. So Planetpalooza. And then this is the Open Space Preservation Commission's initiative. It's a 3-week celebration, something that they had planned a couple years ago, but that got sidetracked it was the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. So it got sidetracked by COVID. So there's a lot of events. I'm going to scroll down slowly. The poster contest, there's some Our Nature Walk. There's a library, nature-based books. There's an event at Breakneck Hill to help promote the dog waste education campaign. That's on Saturday. We'll talk about that. The Earth Day cleanup.
Yeah, so we are not doing that then, if we are doing the hike.
Not doing what?
The Earth Day cleanup. I thought we'll be engaged in that.
We're not going to do this through Rotary this year. They didn't reach out and ask if we wanted to participate, but we do have an event. Remember, Sati, we had talked about on Earth Day, the 22nd, we had some volunteers coming in. So we were going to do some trail cleanup for that guided hike on the 24th, actually, in the Town Forest and a few other places. So anyway, I wanted to make you guys aware of this wonderful event that the Open Space is doing, and that of the guided walk in the Town Forest. So the reason I bring this up is the staggering of the announcements of the second guided hike, right? So it's a second initiative, a separate initiative that we're going to be doing. So we want to, it's going to be done in 2 weeks. So there'll probably be, I'm recommending, like, if Youth and Family Services want to do their marketing of it, then maybe we kind of slow roll into that. And then once the 24th comes and goes, then we can fast track our initiative and reach out to different avenues. That way we stagger the outreach, so we're not overwhelming the channels and confusing them with one or the other. Does that make sense? Okay, great. So yeah, thank you, Bella. And do you have a few minutes tonight if I were to reach out to you to chat about a few things on that topic?
Yeah, absolutely. I could definitely do that.
Great. Okie dokie. So next on our topic is Verity Opportunities and the Chinese Gospel Church volunteer planning. So that was what I was referring to, Sati. So we had talked last time about this opportunity, and Charles, I forget what our notes said. Do you guys remember how many students Charles said he would have? Was it 7, 10?
10 to 12,
15,
I thought.
15,
Up to 15, yeah.
15.
15. So we've got 15 students there, and then the Chinese Gospel Church would have up to 20. So that's a lot of people to manage. And does anyone remember the timing that Charles mentioned? I took some.
He wanted Friday,
Yeah,
Friday
it
afternoon.
was
Okay.
it was Friday, but do we remember the time of day? I'm just
It was just in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, I think,
or 2 to okay, something like
something
that.
like that.
That works
Should be
for-
there in the minutes though. I
Yeah,
might have
okay,
it.
thank you. I have not opened those yet. I mean, I didn't admit that. Yeah, so the Chinese church would like 10 a.m. So that works perfect where the students, the variety opportunities we'll do in the afternoon, we'll say 2 or 3. And then we can work that out. So that splits up the teams in a good way. The town forest it has a lot of downed trees along the trail. It's not a ton of work, but my husband volunteered to do the chainsaw because he's certified or has training in it. So he can cut all the logs and then we can have the volunteers go through and move them off. There are also some brush trimming, kind of clearing the corridor. So as the brush starts to grow in, we can get a handle on that in the spring, and it'll just keep it wider, longer. And there's also where we put the signs up, there's some brush and stuff we'd like to cut away from those so that as things start to bloom and come into their own, that we cut those back and you can still see the signs. So there's some good work in the town forest. There's also an opportunity at Breakneck Hill. This won't take many people, but as part of the dog waste education campaign, we have these signs I showed you guys last time. It's it's going to be yard signs. That's the dog poop yoga and the dog. Do you want me to show you again? Because those were fun. You do. And I don't think Tony had an opportunity to see them. And so just be prepared, Tony, that, these are signs that are supposed to get your attention for a reason, because we're trying
Gross.
to educate people about why it's important to clean up after your pups. So I'm going to share my screen. And I really hope this works.
No, that's the old one, I guess. Yeah.
So, not that, but resized. Okay, there we go. All right, do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you don't want to see this on the sign. We don't want to see it on the, so we have, these are like 12 by 18, yard signs, and they're going to go around the property just to bring awareness. And so on the 22nd, this one's fun. We are going to, on the 22nd, we would like to stake the property out with a variety of these signs. So I can have a few volunteers help do that as well. And that's just going to be for the weekend of the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So it will just be an awareness. It's a silent awareness campaign on that day. But this coming Saturday, we're going to be, the stewardship committee and I will be manning a table, and we'll have, a few treats and things, and we're going to just be talking to people about, and we're going to flag and mark poop so that people are aware of the problem we have, and just to be mindful of why it's important to pick up after your pup. So that's that. And then the part of the campaign that the Trails Committee needs to work on is the signs. So as part of the Choate Fund grant, we agreed to, we suggested that we would put up some signage around town at key points to let people know that dog walking is not allowed. So this is an example of one of the signs we did for Breakneck Hill. Now, obviously Breakneck Hill allows dogs, so that's not the message we're going to be sharing. But what we want to do is come up with a sign that we will be able to use for trails, right? This is another version, a different version. One was permitted uses, and this is specific to dogs. So what I'd like to do here in our meeting is to get your feedback on what we want our signs to say. And then we can confirm our locations of where we're going to put these signs. And we'll design them. And I think something similar to this design is acceptable unless someone has another option. And once we confirm our message, DCR wants to look at the signs and make sure they're consistent with their messaging. So we're all on the same
But these are the signs where dogs are allowed, right?
Yeah, right. So in our case, for example, it would be more like a permitted use type thing. So it would be, we don't, this, it's gonna say something like dogs aren't allowed on this property. We talk about maybe the watershed. That's been part of the messages. Have you guys seen any of the messaging as it's been coming across in Southborough? Can I ask for your feedback? How do you think the messages are? Any thoughts? There's been some conversation about, with a few public residents and stuff. What are you guys thinking?
I like them. I mean, they're cute. They're quick to read.
Yeah. Do you think effective, not effective? Do you have any suggestions on tone of the messages, anything like that?
No, I think I like them all. I mean, I think they're very clever.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then, it's a difficult balance because, Trails Committee maintains trails where there aren't allowed dogs, and then the Stewardship Committee allows, and other properties have dogs. So the message is kind of, difficult to balance because there's two messages coming out of the same campaign. So have you guys experienced any confusion?
The only thing was that, we have to be very specific. I don't know how, but the same thing that I mentioned, that where the dogs are allowed, these poop scooping, is relevant to those trails. But there are some places where dogs are not allowed, right? So we have to be very specific in our messaging.
Yeah, so one of the challenges we're running into is we're not really, the campaign, we're not able to share where people can walk their dogs. So there are property owners and property managers that are interested in just letting that be a silent reality. And if we can just focus on where you can't walk your dog, as one approach there. So that's kind of where we've focused a little bit of our attention, with the caveat that, back in 2021, we updated the trail map page to reflect where dogs can be walked and where there can't be walked. So we're not, so that is, has been linked in our Scoop the Poop campaign page and things. So we're not directing traffic there, but it is a central repository for maps, and it's for trail systems in town. And there are descriptions of what you can do on those properties and permitted uses on those properties. So we have been working with Southborough Open Land Foundation to ensure that messaging is exactly the way they want it. So we've worked that language out. We've also confirmed with Sudbury Valley trustees, for example, and they've confirmed that language is just as they want to have it there. So, and then there's stewardship. And so we've, been working to figure out the best approach there. So as far as, the messaging and the signage, what I can do is kind of draft something up. And I think it makes sense to kind of keep the education piece of it. Like, this is watershed property, backup drinking water. And that's the rationale and reason why there's no dog walking or no dogs allowed. So anything other than that comes to mind that you think would be important to kind of put on the signs, and keeping it really simple, with a link back to our website, perhaps something like that. And it has to have DCR logo on it, I think, to where their property is.
No, I think if you keep the message short about dogs on DCR land, it's better. Just say, protected water supply.
Yep.
I don't want to make it too much word. If you just make it big, protected water supply. I mean, that's really the essence of it.
I think that's good, because these signs, although they're informative, they're 9x12. When you print them at 9x12 with all this text, it's tinier, it's kind of tiny text. So I think shorter, less text, bigger bigger words will be better.
I agree.
A protected water supply, no dogs allowed.
Yeah. Then pretty much all the other stuff on this message, like the one you have for an example, is
It's not.
you just do a big circle with a dog, walking the dog instead of the
Yeah.
wastebasket with the poop, and just says protected water supply,
Yeah.
no domestic animals or no
Yeah.
dogs or no cats.
So this is a funny thing, but I changed the big circle from red to blue because I felt like the red was just, I don't know, I'm trying to have a more positive tone about the no, because I just feel like it's I don't know, a lot of people can be upset that they can't walk their dogs where maybe they have walked their dogs, and red is such a angry color that blue is kind of a softer color and a cooler color. Does anyone have, or am I talking to an audience that doesn't care about color? That could be true too. Anyone have any thoughts?
I mean, so if you have blue color, then would it catch the attention? That's the thing. Red
Does it
would,
draw attention? Yeah. So maybe I'll put a few versions out there and see which ones stick. Okay. So ideally, I think so for locations, what we had initially envisioned was, so do you want me to bring up a map when I'm talking about this so that you can easily see? Because sometimes it's easier to talk map than it is just talk. Am I sharing my screen still and you see the map?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
You can see the map of Southborough.
oh, wonderful. Okay, so where are we? Let me orient. So, okay, so we have this little space here. What I was thinking of is like the really popular spots. So we have a trailhead kiosk here that says no dogs, right? So we're covered. Go all the way here. I think Parkerville on the side where the athletic field is, and the parking is along with Parkerville. Do you know where I'm referring to? Where is it?
It's right there. You.
This
I thought you had it
This is it right here.
right, and you
Right,
would
so
actually
the
go
athletic-
back to, yeah, right around there, right around
Yes.
there. Oop. Right, that's by the road, but if people just walk through the property and get to the trail, you gotta go to the right some more. Like underneath where the word bay is. Go to, yeah, now go down to the trail. Right around there is where it kind of like goes in.
Yes, it goes in and it branches off, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think definitely
So-
something there, because by the road, you can easily miss that if you come in on the field and stuff in the woods on Parkerville.
So the only thing about that is there a post? So I think we put a post there because we needed directional. So you're saying put it on that post?
Yep.
But what if from the roadside, they already brought their dog in and now they're halfway in and like, ooh, do you just expect just to have them turn around?
Well, you can put them in both locations. I'm just saying.
But we have a finite
road,
amount of money.
if you put it by the road, you're gonna miss. I would miss it all the time.
Do you not access from the road?
You
'Cause there's
know, I go sometimes along the walk wall that's on the field to get off the road because there's cars parallel parked there.
Oh, you go along here?
You could easily.
And there's a little, do you remember the logbook location?
Yeah,
here?
but I would probably, you could easily
don't-
bypass that and do like a
All right.
triangle. All I'm just saying is, keep in
Yeah.
mind that if you just put it by the road, it could be missed. That's just my point.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. So we can try inside Parkerville as one option. I think the other one was, just let me see how many we had of these. I've got to pull up the budget, so give me just a second. Budget with notes. Okay. Are you still seeing it? Now, do you
Yep.
see a spreadsheet? Okay, great.
Yep.
So here I had, let's see, we had Partridge Hill Road. Oh, so
Yep.
that's one. That's a good one because that's nothing's there. And we already have a post, Route 85 entrance on the east side. So where is that? Route 85. So on 85, we have a kiosk here. Okay, so I think what I was saying is on this side where the gate is.
Because a kiosk should have a similar sign that no
It
dogs
does.
allowed.
Yes, it does. Okay, so we had that. Then we had Middle Road. Okay, so Middle Road, there's two sides, so we're not gonna be perfect, right? So we're gonna have to choose which side on Middle Road we want to add a sign to. And then there's Deerfoot. Deerfoot's a big one because that's very popular, right? So where they come off of in here, it's right along here. So when I scoped out Deerfoot, there's a couple of options. So ideally we'd put it on both sides, but I don't think we have funding for that. So, and there is really there's no post on the west side, right? There is one of those street signs on the right across with the crosswalk that says Sudbury Reservoir Trail that we could attach a sign to that says no dog walking, and it could have arrows on both sides. So that's one option, and it's fairly visible, but it's not going to, it doesn't satisfy, because there's two trails that come off here, if you remember, right? And there is, there's these two sides, and then there's the other side. The other side, there is no post, but there is a beautiful big tree, but it's a sign, a pretty sizable sign. So we have some blazes on the tree. I don't know if we want to put a sign on the tree too. So
Don't we have a granite marker from the Aqueduct Trail there?
Right, on this side, but this sign won't go to a granite marker. Like
Okay.
it won't, yeah, and that's a pretty nice granite marker. I don't know that they want us drilling into it necessarily. But one option would be, we can go after money in the future, or when we get a budget, we could add a couple of additional signs as needed. So maybe to start with, we could do the road sign.
Sure.
And I talked to Karen Galligan at DPW to see if we could add a sign. She had no issues with that. Trying to avoid installing posts, which costs money and is a pain to dig. Okay, so then we have Northborough Road and Ward Road. Okay, so here we walk along. We have a kiosk here. So that says no dogs. Actually, I have to update the sign because it was initially put in there when we thought we could allow dogs, and I haven't been able to undo the ratchet. That was if in hindsight, I'm not sure we want kiosks with plexiglass anymore, because to change maps means it's a bigger deal. It's not the end of the world, but it is kind of difficult to open up those things. So I'm going to change that. But I think where I was talking about is right here, where there is a log book and there's already a post. So we could attach it here, for example. Or, well, the other side, I don't know that there is.
You have the fence there, the entrance to the fence off of Northborough Road down there. But I see a lot of people park. Go to the left more. No, left, not there. I don't see that many people parked there because that road is closed.
Well, this road is now closed.
Right, go all the way to Northborough Road, right? Go right there by the, what is it, the pumping station or whatever it is?
Yeah.
A lot of cars parked there and walk.
Okay, let's
to
do that
left.
then. Let's do that side, but I don't know what's there for.
Well, we have the fence opening where the trail goes through.
The guardrail, you mean?
No, the actual fence is a chain link fence.
Is
On
the
the
chain
left-hand
link
side.
on this side, or is the chain link on the other side?
The other side, the left side. You have to go through the chain link fence to pick up the
Yeah.
trail.
But are we signing this side, or are we
Nope,
signing
no,
this side?
it's the south side of the water. You're on the north side. South side.
You
South,
think
go
we
down,
should sign
down.
over here?
Nope, go down.
Oh,
around
but
there.
this isn't our property.
I'm just saying, that's where the trail comes out.
No, it's on this side.
You sure it's on the north side of the water? How
Yeah,
would you get-
because you walk along here, you cross Lynbrook, you go down
Right.
here, you go down.
Yeah, it's on the
here,
north side, but I thought on the
still
other side of
here,
Northborough, it's
still
on the south
here.
side.
you're still here, and then you go under Route, and you're
Then you
still,
stay on the north side all the way. I thought it was,
and then you go, where's Ward Road? Oh, it's right here that you cross over and come down here. Does that make sense? So right here is
Yeah.
the bridge. So I
Hey.
do recommend we put something up here at Ward Road.
yeah. Bella, where does it cross the river when you do that trail? I don't go that.
Yeah, right where Kat's pointing.
There's a
that.
bridge or something there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
there's a bridge right there, and there's also a little trail marker.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
okay.
I think there should, probably be
Yeah.
two, honestly.
What was
Yeah,
that last part?
There should probably be two, maybe there.
Where? Here?
Yeah, one there, or maybe just one there. Honestly, I feel like one there would be okay.
Where's there?
Sorry, I keep saying there, and that's just not helping. Where the bridges. Sorry.
So I'm just curious. So we have a limited number of, do we do it at Ward Road where they're accessing here? We have already a temporary yard sign here that says no dogs, right? There's a post here, and we can put some laminated signs up. That's a great idea. Ooh, I just opened up the door. We could do laminated signs where we don't have aluminum signs, right? As temporary signs, they'll last for a little while.
Yeah. We could do
Okay,
that.
that's great. So, okay, so then maybe we put a permanent one here, and then we do a laminate one on the post, and there's already one over here.
Yeah.
Right,
I
so this-
also do see a lot of people parking on Northborough Road to access that trail.
Here,
Yeah.
yep.
Mhm.
Right where you're
So we
at.
need to decide both sides of Northborough Road,
Yeah.
2 sides. One's gonna get aluminum, one will not. And there is actually, there is a street sign on this side that we could perhaps attach an aluminum sign to, because I remember it had fallen over once and I had asked DPW if they'd straighten it out. So that might be a good option on this side. Okay, so I think we're in good shape, and I hear what we need, and where we can't afford more aluminum signs, we can do temporary laminate signs, not an issue at all. And so the objective will be to kind of get those signs verified and confirmed in the next day or so. Well, actually the next day, get DCR to confirm. She said they could turn that around in a day and then get them to the printer. There's a week turnaround time for printing. They cost about $47 a piece, or $44 depending on the size, and get those posted. If we had those signs for the volunteers on the 22nd, they could help us post signs too. That might work. And so I'm going to take off the 22nd, and there's no pressure for anyone to do the same, but is there anyone available on the 22nd, which is technically Earth Day, that Friday, to assist in volunteer coordination?
I can't give an answer just yet.
Okay.
I can be there.
You can, Sati?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. So if anything opens up, even if, it's a couple hours or even an hour to get started, that would be helpful if someone wanted to take a break during a day, whatever works, but we'll make it work. And so I did survey the trails, and I thought for the work parties, we can kind of be proactive. I think April 22nd is a little early for some of the brush to cut back, but we might be able to get proactive around Route 85, the cemetery where it really likes to grow in. So if we can start pulling that back. So I'll come up with a game plan for the 22nd, and then divvy up all the volunteers. And I think we're going to meet in one location. Actually, I need to reach out to the senior center and see if we can meet there. And then as a courtesy, I was just going to let the Rotary Club know that along some of the trailheads, like where people are parking, we're going to go ahead, like as we're doing trail work, if there's a little bit of trash at that trailhead, we're going to clean that up. And I'm just going to let them know that, so that they can be aware that we're doing an activity not to overlap their activity, but it's more of a heads up, hey, we're doing this, rather than have them feel like we're encroaching on their space. It's more of let's communicate proactively. because we want to continue to work collaboratively with groups, and we don't want them to feel like we're getting in their lane, if that makes sense. Does that sound good? Okay, so quickly again on the campaign, dog waste education campaign. So we have, I've just switched gears. Do you see the Word document up? Okay, great. So we're right now in week 4, April 11th. And so we had one thing go out on Monday. Today, Southborough, we switched up the SOBO Care and Share page because we went live with the guided hike. So we're gonna probably do the Southborough Care and Share page post tomorrow, and then a couple more things. So we have a couple more videos to go out, and then if you guys, do you want me to play any of the videos, or do you want to like look at them at your own time?
No,
Just-
I looked at them. They're
You did?
wonderful.
Any issues or concerns?
No, I think those are pretty educative.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we are, let's see, we did have a conversation. A person posted on Southborough Care and Share and said, why don't you flip this conversation and tell us, where we can walk our dogs, so it was a very valid point, and I really appreciated the conversation. So I said, we hear you loud and clear, here are some resources, local resources that you can go to, and pointed them to the Trails Committee Trails Repository page, as well as Ashland, Hopkinton, and Callahan State Park have some really great dog walking options. So it was a good back and forth conversation, and I explained why, why there's no dog walking, because there are some people that have walked dogs for years and feel like, oh, this is a change in policy, and it really hasn't been. It's just not been very signed or communicated. So that's what we're trying to do. So if you guys hear anything, or have any feedback on how we can approach this a little bit differently, certainly let us know.
A minor suggestion, wherever you have mentioned the Choate Fund, so usually when you acknowledge some grant, it is better to put an asterisk there, and then below that, instead of part of this thing, the whole sentence. That's what my thinking is,
So you mean where, so the time that we did that was in the very beginning when we had our first intro. It was, this initiative is funded by a 2021 Choate Fund grant. So we haven't been, because there is limited space, we have not been including this text in the actual blurbs, but it is on the webpage. So is there a suggestion on the webpage of how you'd like to see it differently?
Hopefully.
right?
Mhm. Okay.
Kat,
So, yeah,
can
so-
I ask
yeah.
can I ask a question, please?
Please.
So I'm just looking at the trails map, the trails in Southborough map on this question of where can people walk their dogs, right? I think that's an interesting observation that someone said, how do I make this positive? Can we just show on here where you can walk dogs?
No.
Why not?
We've been asked not to.
Really?
Yeah, it's a difficult.
Okay, well, if this is an
conversation.
old conversation, I don't want to belabor it, so.
No, it's not old. We've been asked not to share the information because, different properties are being managed for different conservation purposes. So if folks,
But
can
where
find-
dogs are allowed, why can't that be indicated?
Right, yes, it's the challenge that I've been experiencing is having that conversation. It's I don't exactly know how. I don't have a great answer for you and for us, because I feel like it's half of the conversation. Is one half is you can't walk your dogs, the other half is where can I walk my dogs. So we've been trying to balance some difficult conversations around that. And so one alternative is let the campaign be about how important it is to pick up after your dog, where you can't walk your dog, and then also, in an indirect way, when people go to the Trails Committee page, back in 2021, we posted some of those options, let people find it that way. It's been a tricky conversation, is the best I can describe, with a few groups.
Okay, I won't belabor that at this point then.
Yeah. But I'm happy to talk to you offline about
No,
that.
no, that's quite all right. And I feel like I owe you all an apology. I've been distracted by many meetings since I joined this ARPA committee. So I haven't been able to attend this meeting very often lately. So I apologize for that, guys. That will continue to be the case for like 3 more months for me, I think.
No.
So I will be erratic attending here, but, and I need to drop off now to go to another meeting. So good luck with the rest of your meeting tonight, guys.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I hope you still want to continue with us. We've been really enjoying your participation.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
We
I
get
just
it.
can only go to so many meetings in a week. So,
I know, right? We only have so much time. So thank you. Thanks again.
all right. Have a nice night, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, you too.
One thing I wanted to bring up for the campaign is as one of the sustainability aspects of the program is we wanted to have a one-pager that we submit to the town meeting for everybody to pick up, and also will be put in dog license renewals and for new registrations. So I had included it as part of the materials, and I'm going to pull it up now. I wanted to get your feedback on it. It's called Supplemental Dog Information for Dog Owners in Southborough. So I can give you just a moment to look over this and let me know what you think.
Yeah, this is the one that you attached. I saw it earlier.
Okay. And Bella's seen it a few times from the stewardship committee.
I'm okay with it.
Sati,
Yeah, it's good.
how's the tone? Do you feel like it's a neutral or, not such a negative tone? I was really trying to strike a balance here.
I mean, if you are referring to this, where's the dog walking prohibited, this language, I think it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, this is what it is. I mean,
Yeah,
it is not that we decide.
Yeah, and that is the point, is it's not our policy, and it's
Yeah.
DCR and they own the land and we have to abide by those regulations. So, okay, great. Thank you for that. So on the dog waste, is there anything else? There's one more thing, that the welcome letter. So I don't know, this was news to us in the stewardship committee when we discovered there is a town welcome letter for new residents. Did you guys know that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, right. Surprise, surprise. So the Conservation Commission puts that out. It might be a new thing from Melissa Danza, who's pretty great about these types of things. So it literally just goes through different committees and commissions and gives them a little orientation. So we thought it'd be a great time. They had a little section on how to apply for a dog license. So we suggested an additional line of Southborough requires dog owners to remove and properly dispose of all dog waste in an appropriate receptacle, and to keep dogs under control at all times, with a footnote to the bylaw as one addition to the letter. So it just lets people know that. And then we noticed that there was some different other sections, but there was not a open space or trails or stewardship section. So this highlighted piece is what we are recommending that they add to the letter. And so if you could just take a moment, we only have a sentence here and a website, but let me know if you're in agreement with this and have any suggested changes. We did try to keep it really small, so this letter is only 2 pages and not like long and long. They can go to the website for more information.
No, it's good.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right, so those are that. What else did I have attached? Was there anything else on the dog waste thing? I think one of and this is a good segue into this next piece, one of the things that we wanted to do is tie and wrap this up by the end of April. So the Choate Fund grant cycles, the applications are due by April 30th. And so, we're working on a year. We sent John Warren, Stewardship and Trail sent John Warren, the administrator of the grant, an update a couple months ago, letting him know what we were doing. So at the end of this campaign, we'll also send a follow-up letter and say, this is how it went, and these are the activities that we did, and So that will be wrapping up at the end of this month. The next question is, there's a new Choate Fund grant cycle opened. Applications are due by April 30th. Today is April 12th. we have an opportunity. So when I posted last week to SOBO Share and Care Facebook page and asked if there was anyone that had experience and background that wanted to lead a hike, a woman came forward. Her name is Emma Bartolini. And I spoke with her briefly. Now she's not available on the 15th, but we started to talk, and she does yoga with adults and children and all sorts of things. She has a varied background, and she would be interested in working with us on kind of doing a number of guided hikes or guided yoga involved hikes of some sort, outdoor yoga, that kind of thing. And I thought, because, it came up in our conversations about doing some themes of guided hikes, right? Could we do a guided hike series that involved and included yoga on the trails and things like that, with kids and with adults? It could just vary. And we could also include other hike leaders with other experience, right? So Bella just made a great connection with someone who does forest bathing. So one of the hikes could be that. In addition to, another one, the Dan Harvey, who's doing the town forest, is a naturalist and a 30-year, veteran in education and outdoor things and environmental stuff. So what if we put forth a grant that was simply a hike series, and it helped pay for the hike leaders to do a series of hikes, and we choose between now and next year. Now we want to be careful about the time of year. We're not going to do all these in the summer when everyone's gone, right? We might be able to get one in June or two in June, or one in June and one in July, and then skip a few months and then go into a couple in the fall, and then maybe a couple next spring, something like that. So I'm going to put that out there for a thought.
Sure, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I really like it. It sounds like a great idea. I really like the yoga aspect too. I feel like that would be really fun.
Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting opportunity. And the other thing about the Choate Fund grant is it's a recreational opportunity, and they want to make sure, children are involved. So as long as our hikes are focused on getting children, educated about outdoors, and the yoga aspect is really exciting too, and being mindful, it really brings a fun element to what we could offer Southborough residents. So if you guys are open to that, then we would need to do some fast work to pull together a grant, but it doesn't have to be, it's not huge in labor. We just want to be able to maybe describe it in some way that's impactful, and maybe have a few people lined up to do it. And so yeah, so is there anyone with a little extra time, and I know that's funny, in the next couple of weeks that would have any time to kind of denote, work with me on this in some way?
I could do that.
Yeah, great. Since it kind of is in your wheelhouse now that you get some contact, that would be wonderful. Okay, and then, so I think if we could do, if you're interested in doing this, can we do a vote on that? And then I guess the vote would be, the committee agrees that Kat and Bella will work together to put together a Choate Fund grant and submit by April 30th. And the idea will be to do a guided hike series with a variety of different hike leaders and such.
So moved.
Do we
I'll
have a
second.
second? Was that
I'll
Bella?
second, sorry.
That's fine, thank you. Okay, roll call vote. Satyendra Sharma,
Yes.
Tom McCoolier,
Yes.
Bella Bogdansky,
Yes.
and Kat McKee. Yes, great. Okey doke, that's great.
Hey, Kat, excuse me. I gotta run at 7:10. I got 5 more minutes, maybe 12 more minutes. Just want to
yeah.
let you know I do have to drop.
Okay, so let's see if we can talk fast and get minutes and stuff. the ARPA committee project list. So that was submitted, and they reached out for some more information, and I provided some clarification. There is some positive feelings there, but we don't know. They're going to make a recommendation to the select board, so we don't have any new updates. That the bylaw. So the big thing about the bylaw is we need to have an FAQ. So do you guys know that advisory voted to support it?
No, no.
6-1, 6 in 1. Yes.
Wow.
Yep. So now we have the support of select board and advisory. That's very positive. We need an FAQ for the town, right? So we're going to have this at the town meeting. We're also going to start circulating and having it on our website and stuff. So I think we have the main talking points, right, that we've talked about. How comfortable are you guys with us being really transparent by bringing to light all the things that we've heard that have been controversial? For example, you know, why do you want associate members when you could have any volunteer? Like, how comfortable are you putting that forward? Or would you rather a more kind of subtle approach that just doesn't call everything out, you know, like you just kind of, because some people are going to care more than others.
Go with the first one, and then we can always make it lesser afterwards.
Fair
I think if we put it out on the table and people read it, then they might not be complaining about it. But
Well,
then
that's
you
what
also,
I'm thinking. If we take a wind away from all of their arguments and all that we've
Right.
heard, there's nothing left to hot air about, right?
I agree.
Okay, so I'm going to circulate something to the committee for your response, and only respond to me. But it is going to be kind of in a quick order, because town meeting is May 3rd and 4th and 5th, something like that. So if you guys could let me know what you're thinking in an honest way, that would be great. The other thing is, I guess Will's not here, and Isabel to talk about the accessibility inclusion thing. So we'll skip that. I'm trying to get an update from MWRA on the 8M permit update. So once we get that 8M permit, we can go ahead and advertise that Aqueduct Connector Trail is open. They are finalizing the signs now. We should have them in a couple of weeks. So my goal would be to have, if we could possibly announce that trail connector ahead of town meeting, it would just be nice to be able to kind of wrap that up also. And in advance of like Earth Day, these Earth Day, you know, get out and hike and do these things. Here's another little section you can check out. So I'll let you know about that. The master plan implementation goals and objectives. So we didn't get to really talk about that. So Tom, you were a part of the meeting, so it's okay that you don't get to talk about it. I wanted to bring that to the committee and make sure that they felt comfortable with our proposal. So I will work on that. And then I think the only last piece is Algonquin High School is trying to do a day of community service, June 9th. They want their entire school, like 900, or maybe it's 900 students, but I think 300 we're going to be in this project. And they're working with different organizations to do community service. So they reached out to Trails to see if we had any work. So June 9th is I thought we might be able to use a number of students on some Trails work, right? Like, so by June 9th, things are growing in and we might have some more opportunities. So how does the committee feel about if there's an opportunity to work with a few more students, that we look at June 9th and do that? It's for a couple hours in the middle of the day. Yep. Okay.
Sure.
So we won't talk about website updates or committee roles. We'll skip that for next time. Tom, you have to go. I think that's the most, and we'll just do minutes. There'll still be quorum without you, Tom.
Right. There will be.
So we'll do minutes. I guess we don't really have enough time to do minutes. Goodbye, Tom.
I'll let you guys go at this juncture right now.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll circulate a time for a meeting later.
Right. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so we'll wrap up shortly. Let's, before we go to minutes, guys, let's do the, what's it called? What I just said it was, master plan. So hold on just a second. Let me pull it up. Master plan, implementation plan. Ooh. Oh, she sent it around. I have to pull it up from my email because I want to make sure I got the right one. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, quick orientation to what this is. So the master plan, as you may know, I serve as the representative for trails on the master plan. I think it's been 3 years and it's coming to an end this year. So the master plan should be ready by June. We're very excited about it. And so what this implementation plan is the recommendations and objectives that came out of the master plan has a responsible party. Southborough Trails Committee is responsible for a number of these objectives, not objections.
You can take your time now, Kat.
That's funnier than you imagine, because there was some objection to our responsibilities. So I want to take us through the list, and we have to come up with
Expand it
what?
little, make it little.
Oh, make it bigger. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I wasn't
Then-
quite sure what you meant, and I
Oh,
was
sorry.
decision
Just
what
wanted
you
to-
meant. Okay, I'm going to know soon. So we want to go through and make sure that the timeline that we've proposed makes sense, and if there are any questions. And so the timelines that we're working with are 3: short-term, medium-term, and long-term, right? And they're up here on the screen. Completed in 1 to 2 years is short-term, completed in 2 to 5 years, medium-term, and 5 to 10 years is long-term. Now, some of these are going to be, a little difficult to guess or guesstimate, but we're going to do the best we can with it. And as long as we feel comfortable, we'll be fine. And it's okay if it changes. This is just out of the gate recommendations, right? And things evolve. This is a 10-year plan. The funding source is the other option. The other thing that we need to fill out is, where do we think we're going to get funds for this? So one is town funding, and town funding is really through like maybe our small budget that we have, or if it's a really larger project, capital investment, from the capital planning, that's like over 10K type thing. There's the CPA funds. We've used those in the past once. The external, so private or not-for-profit funding, that might be like the Choate Fund grant is that. And then the funding through state or federal grants or the ARPA money, that's called government, right? And we've put forth some ARPA projects, and we have put forth a mass trails grant. So that's where government comes in. So I'm going to scroll quickly down to where our section is. Okay, right here. Great. Okay, can everyone see where I'm at? And this is where our section begins. Okay, so the first goal is expand connectivity and access to existing open space without compromising public safety, wildlife activity, or causing adverse environmental impact. Oh, I realized I didn't fill that out.
Is that short? No. Are these classified as short-term, long-term, or they're just?
I know why this isn't here, because this is a goal, right? And she took out the short term and the funding for the
Oh.
goal, because the goal is accomplished by the recommendations. So the goal won't have the timeline, but the recommendations will. Now I remember what she did. So our first recommendation is develop a plan strategy in collaboration with all stakeholders, including landholders, Conservation Commission, open space, trails, to link individual open space areas considering potential restrictions due to wildlife needs and stuff. So we put that as a medium to long term. So that could happen anywhere between, what was the time frame, 3 to 10 years. And the funding for that being town, CPA, or external. So are there any issues with the way that's approached?
No, I don't have any issues.
It's kind of a interesting recommendation, because we have to figure out how to make that actionable, but we'll work on that. So out of this plan, all of these will become our plan. There's the open space rec plan and the master plan, and those 2 plans will guide how Southborough Trails Committee sees our future, because our responsibility is to get these things done, right, with a check mark. So the next one, build and maintain trails and parking. Examples would include paved walking track around Mooney Field, walking trail around golf course, and investigate dog walking needs. So that's a long term, so that could be up to 10 years, and government, CPA, and town would be funding. So I'm going to kind of go through these. If you want me to stop, just say stop. Okay, so we can get through it.
So
want
these are one more question. These are the duration, long term, short term. So these are based off on what kind of grant will be applied to them.
What was that last? This
So,
is
so the grant application, type of grant application is based off on the term, the medium, long term, the duration of the project.
no, not
So-
necessarily, because it just the long term, the timeline really is to kind of put a frame around how long do you think it's going to take you to get this recommendation done as a committee. If you're responsible for it, and it doesn't mean that we do all this by ourselves. It doesn't. It means that we are responsible for encouraging those parties that are involved in this to do it. So let's be clear, I didn't really clarify that piece, that STC does not have to do these all by themselves, but we are the responsible party. So for example, the Mooney Field, we may work with recreation. Recreation would be more suited to do all of those things, but we work with them and say, hey, is this on your radar? Or you guys do you have plans for this? And then the reporting mechanism is we would go back and report on that, but we would connect with recreation and say, hey, are you working on this? Or if there's still a golf course committee, if they're doing the walking trail, like, hey, are you guys doing this? That kind of thing. And we would be the responsible party to report back. And then the funding, it just depends. It's going to be a variety. So the timeline isn't necessarily tied to the funding in that way.
Okay. That's a question. Just wanted to understand. Yeah.
So the next one, continue to establish connections to regional trails, the Burroughs Loop, Aqueduct Trail, Boston Worcester Airline Trail. So we're currently doing that. We're almost done, right? So that's medium term because we're in the works of doing it. And government being federal funding might be the grant, and CPA funds we've already received, right? So increase awareness about passive recreation opportunities on trails, on open space properties such as nature walks, gardens. Now this is an open space Preservation Commission recommendation, and there was some back and forth about whether trails should be doing nature hikes or not. And so one of the ways we reconciled that, because we've done 11 hikes since 2017, and 4 of those I'm grouping in from the 2017 Girl Scouts who did 4 guided hikes on, it was Hike Southborough Day. You might remember that, Sati. It was a wonderful day in September, I think. So that was 4, plus every year we've done several. So we have a history of doing hikes. And if you as a committee agree, it's been fun doing hikes. I think it's a great service that we can provide Southborough, and it really ties into what we're doing. It's a fun aspect of what we do. So we would certainly like to continue to do that. So now we both have a line item. Open Space can do their nature walks, garden tours, and then Southborough can also do guided hikes, walks, educational program, special events, partnerships. So and that's a short term because we're doing it regularly. And the funding is just the same. A lot of the funding is not, so that's that. Establish ADA compliant trails and parking where appropriate. We're trying to do that with the Mass Trails grant on the peninsula. So that's a medium term. We're going to be limited in what we can do there, but we're going to do our best. Engage and educate the community on the benefits of open space. Oh, that's an open space one. The next one's open space. And then establish off-road biking on appropriate trails while protecting the surrounding environment and abiding by DCR permitted use regulations. So this one's very specifically written, specific because DCR does not allow biking on their trails in a watershed, right? So we know that, but there may be other opportunities that are not DCR land that we could establish that, off-road biking. So that opens the door long-term because we're not sure when we're going to do that kind of thing. And then the next one, assess and add signage to educate trail users about the permitted use policies and trails, including dog walking restrictions, in partnership with other entities who have jurisdiction over specific trails. This caused a lot of controversy, I will share with the committee. And it was more about, it's not the Southborough Trails Committee's purview to ensure, to tell the community where you can and can't walk your dogs. So a balance, how do I describe it? A middle ground that we came to was, we do need to be able to talk about dog walking because of the restrictions on the trails that we maintain, right? So that's really important. Part of that conversation is also about where dog walking can happen, right? And although we're not in charge of saying to those properties, you have to say this, we can be the responsible party to say, is this happening? Do you have appropriate signage? And, and we're going to report back. So this was the middle ground we found. So far, so good with that. So I think that is going to be all we have. So are there any additional questions or thoughts on that?
And it's good. Looks good.
Okay. So I am going to ask us to vote on, we approve, we reviewed the recommendations, the timeline and the funding source, and the committee, is comfortable moving forward. So does someone want to make that motion?
I can do that. Motion is made to review the recommendations, right? Is that
Yeah, so a motion to, and you can say so moved if it's easier. So a motion to approve the goals and implement the goals and recommendations as proposed, discussed, and the timeline and the funding source for the master plan.
okay? Move.
So
I'll
does
second
someone
that.
want, so moved? Did I hear that?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. Did someone second?
Yeah. Okay. So moved.
Thank you. And does someone want to make a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
Thank you. And let's do a roll call. So Satyendra Sharma,
Yes.
Isabella Bogdansky,
Yes.
Kat McKee, yes. So the vote passes, and Tom McCoolier was on the call in master plan. He's a shop C representative, so he's seen these. So he was okay with what was proposed and discussed at the meeting, even though he's not part of the vote. Okay, so that's that, and I think we're very close to being finished. And I appreciate you hanging in there. I just want to double check the list. Okay, so now we should talk about minutes. And thank you, Sati, for wrapping those minutes up for us. Let me see. Actually, you know what? I want to do this. I want to go here. I'm going to stop sharing so you don't get to see all my folder directories. I don't know what you can do with that.
All your secrets.
I know, right? You can see everything. Okay. Minutes. So we'd have two sets, 323, which was the day we did a rapid review of the bylaw and voted. And then on the 24th, we did a more in-depth meeting on everything else. Oh, there's a Q&A. There's a hand raised. Oh, Will Warren. Oh, Will, how long have you been there? Oh, no.
Oh, I didn't check. I should have.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. Hey, Will, I'm so sorry. How long have you been over there?
Maybe I think 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes.
You saw?
I mean, I thought that somebody's asking a question, a Q&A.
I have such bad split attention. Hey, Will, are you unmute?
I'm unmuted now. No, I was there for about 20, 25
Yeah.
minutes. I came in at the beginning and then I left to go to the select board meeting and
no.
hear them accept the consent decree from the Department of Environmental Protection, which
Oh,
was a big non-event.
Okay.
You know, they're using ARPA funds to pay for this fiscal 2023 and what they're going to do with the dump. So it's a good way to.
You mean the farm dump?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was really, really happy to see that.
Do you any idea how much money they're spending on it in 2023?
Not exactly. But
Yeah, from what I can tell, it's just a study in 2023, and then they'll figure out how much it's going to cost.
oh, that's why it was only, maybe was it 50,000? Does that sound right?
That could be for a study. But my question would be, I believe that the budding property, the yellow house on Breakneck Hill Road,
Yeah.
That changed hands 2 or 3 years in the last, or at least the last 3 to 5 years. And my understanding is that we've known about the farm dump longer than that. So I just wonder if the town had responsibility to alert the new or the prospective buyer.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know
Yeah,
either.
so, okay, so thank you, Will. So we didn't talk about accessibility, and I think we're coming into the end of a meeting. Would you
No,
be
I
okay if
understand.
we talked about it next time, because then
Yeah.
maybe Bill could join us.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's do it next time. I would like to say that your sense of humor is excellent when you said that putting out an informational brochure about the associate member would keep people from raising questions. I thought that was what wonderful joke.
Well, it won't keep them from raising questions, but we know a lot of the questions that will come up. So can we be so frank as to speak those questions, and then then it's not a surprise when they ask, and a lot of it will be covered. They can still ask those questions, but if we kind of I like to head things off at the pass as much as we can, and be as
Like I said,
transparent.
I think that's a lot of hope in there. Anyway, you guys wrap the meeting up.
Well, you stay with us, right? You can.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so we're gonna look at the minutes, and I'm gonna screen share again.
So I tried to incorporate the thing that last time you said about the roll call.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, perfect. Wonderful. And did we have? I don't think we had any visitors this morning.
No, that did that day. Yeah, no,
Okay.
no visitors.
Great. And so I think it is helpful probably to vocalize that, because we don't really have a record of it. So is that helpful? Okay, so let's take a quick moment. So again, we don't have to, so this looks good. Let's see. I'm just going to read through it and be quiet.
Just Jay's last name spelling is okay.
It's
Taylor
Taylor.
May. Oh, Taylor.
Yeah, so I made it that quick edit.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, there is one more, I think.
I think I'm okay just doing the meeting and specifically discuss the bylaw. Maybe the bylaw document changes. Is that okay?
Okay, yep.
Posted.
You did spell my last name wrong, Sati.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's an I instead of
I,
a-
okay, K-I, okay. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
And I tried to put all the discussion on the amendments, what was amended. So, I mean, I don't know whether that detail is
Oh,
needed.
okay. So in this case, if you don't mind, we do not. So the one thing about minutes is it does not have to be a
Yeah.
line by line transcript, right? So I'm wondering if, let's see which ones of these we can keep, because I think there's some key ones that are really important. I like this one. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because this was pretty
Like-
important.
like
Yeah,
maybe-
this whole discussion.
Like this one is a little remove sentence from line, da, da, da. We're gonna have to include that lined document.
Okay.
And I don't know if I can remember. I mean, I probably sent it to you guys because there's been so many versions of it. I don't know if I'll get the right one.
The
So
one
what I
that-
might propose, this is what
Yeah.
I might propose, is we get rid of the line numbers, because I don't know if I can actually pull. So I can, yeah, is that comfortable with the committee if I pull the line numbers off so that it doesn't add, because if I don't get the exact right one, it's gonna be all misaligned, and that will be a lot of.
Yeah, that might be a problem because the
Yeah.
line numbers might have changed afterwards.
Yep.
We just go by the articles. The numbers, right? Not the 9.35. That's still the same, right?
So I'm wondering if we could just pull this out, remove line 29 to 2034. It doesn't say
Yeah.
what we're pulling. Are you comfortable with that?
Yep. I'm okay
Line
with
37 under organization, J. Tellerman
that.
as removed shall. Okay, that's good. That's fine. I'm gonna take it, and similarly underline funding shall provide, okay.
Line 42 also, if we remove that, yeah, we remove the line, yeah.
What did we do, the duty of the committee? Did we just take that out? I think we, yeah, I'm gonna take, you're okay if I take that out? It just
Yeah,
doesn't,
okay,
it
this
leaves
is.
more curious questions, like, what does that mean?
Right. I mean,
Okay,
that is,
yeah.
I did not copy the whole thing, you know, you
Yeah, that's okay.
sense to.
Yeah, as long as, I mean, you know, we can be as vague as the committee discussed the bylaw and the changes proposed by Jay Talaman and voted XXX.
Yep,
You know,
yep,
it can
yep.
be very simple. And it doesn't have to detail everything, but there are certain pieces
Yep.
that are important, like the dates that we initially submitted. Those are
Yeah.
important things to
Yeah,
me.
you said so in your, that
Oh, I
this
said
can
we
go into,
included.
yeah, this can go into the, this
Oh,
can
good.
go into the.
That's
into
probably
the minutes,
helpful
yeah.
to say, yeah.
So that is why I included those, so, but yeah.
I think we voted to take this out.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna just use the word add.
Yeah,
Vote
okay, that's
motion
fine.
to approve the red line document as discussed and voted on was moved by Tom McCoy, second roll call vote. All right, so not present, but roll
Yes,
call
yes.
vote. Isabel Murphy, yes. Isabella Tatiana, yes. Cat, motion 5. Good, yeah. Motion to approve minor and reasonable changes as suggested by legal counsel upon his review can be forwarded to the board of selectmen in the interest of time. So was that a motion to approve additional?
Additional.
Yeah, right. Additional minor and reasonable changes as suggested by legal counsel upon his review can be forwarded to the board of selectmen in the interest of time. Committee will meet again tomorrow to address any concerns. Chair Trails Committee can present the article to the advisory board. Isabel, I think it was to the advisory board and other, I remember specifically no, it was advisory board.
That's it.
We
Yeah.
did that on the 24th. We
Yep.
voted to do other boards, commissions, and commissions. Okay. Isabella moved the motion. Tom seconded. Roll call vote. Not present.
Yeah, I copied it. That's why.
I know this. Isabella. Oh, I didn't get Isabel's name right here and here. Great. Motion to adjourn, Jung. Isabel seconded. Roll. Isabel, this is nice. Thank you, Sati, for doing these, and awesome. Okay, so any other questions or concerns on the minutes, Bella?
No, it all looks good to me.
Just the spelling of her name. So I'll be careful next time.
Oh, that's okay. And so do we have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I'll make a
Yeah,
motion. to
yeah,
approve
she'll
the
make a motion, yeah.
minutes as
I'll second it.
So in cases like this, when I say, can we have a motion and I actually say it, it's okay to say so moved. So you don't
So
actually have to repeat it. It's actually just a little shortcut. So
Yep.
if someone wants to, want me to do that again. So does someone want to make a motion to approve the March 23rd meeting minutes as amended during our meeting tonight?
So moved.
So, yeah,
Do we have a second?
yes, I second it.
Great. And let's do roll call. Satyendra Sharma,
Yes.
Isabella Bogdansky,
Yes.
Kat McKee. Yes, motion passes. Great. Thank you guys. And I'll submit those. And then our next one is the 24th. So this was a bigger meeting. We had Shannon come in,
Name.
Charles Tang and Alex Wang.
Isabella's name.
Hmm?
We have to fix this.
Oh, the one thing, did we, let me go back. We absence. So so one of the things that we're supposed to include is who's absent
Okay.
from our meetings. So absent would be, it was Tony Schooner, and that was the only one absent that day.
Yep.
Right. So
One thing that I always include in the meetings are any audience. So I don't know if, for instance, Tim Litt was at this last meeting, and if he contributed or if someone contributes, it's a good
Thank
thing
you.
to include them.
Yeah, no, we do definitely include visitors. So I think in this case,
Tim was not there, I guess. He
did I
was
not
not there.
bring up? I brought the same one. Oh, did I just add it? I did. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, no,
No, I've lost it. Oh dear.
no. So many were
Okay. Thank you, Will. So call the meeting order, and we got some dance keys going on, present discussion. Okay, so May's Mental Health Month this year. Themes being together for mental health. This is from National Alliance. As the COVID restriction ease and people coming back. So I think May 15th would be better. Do we say what time later on? So in this case, I'm going to say May 15th.
Afternoon
At 1.
at 1. Yeah.
Action for mental health.
Yeah, that's a later discussion about the churchgoers and all. You know.
Do we discuss it later?
Yeah, I think, but I don't know. I mean, whether but that's fine. I mean,
Someone with special skills, knowledge, or tools, maybe. Those are for a short course.
share and clear. Okay.
Music and experience. Yeah. Great. 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 Okay. Nice.
All right.
Discussion with Charles. Charles gave an overview. On here, showcases
Very clear.
do-gooders. Alex is part of variety and fully involved in the organization. Community has multiple on here. Committee of the Downways Program in partnership with stewardship and town forest owned by stewardship. Okay, good.
So 15 to 20 volunteers. That's what he said.
And they help on 222. It's 5-2.
Oh, 5
Four.
yes.
Wait, it's 4-2. Sorry, I don't even know.
4 2. Yeah, 4 2. Not in 5 2.
Here's something here that they've already. Okay, these mostly high school. Okay, children volunteers to work with their parents. I think we can skip this if you're
Yep.
okay.
Yep. That's fine.
Volunteers could be divided into work groups, chairs, dig, cleanup activities, monofilament, fishermen, dead tree limbs, wood chipper. Like,
Wait. Okay.
this is just a net. It's not a big
Yep.
deal. Oh wait.
You know about the wood chipper we were discussing the other day. You know, I had a wood chipper brought in my, for my tree removal, and that they've got a wood chipper that could swallow the whole tree.
Swallow the whole tree.
Yep.
Yeah, but it could swallow us too. So.
Yeah, I know. But that was
it.
that was a discussion that day. I was telling that we can have the wood chipper. How big would be the branches? But these, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Public comments have brought us to avoid straining the watershed communities. Yeah, it was adequate parking to avoid straining the watershed communities. It was adequate parking space to avoid straining the neighborhoods. Is that okay?
Yeah, yes, fine.
Or I think,
That was the part of the discussion, but it's fine. I mean, that's what we meant actually.
and
Neighboring communities.
yeah, because there were some neighbors that were worried, conservation committee. But I think the watershed is a good point, because if you're not parking in a parking spot, you're parking on a non-parking spot, which could be problematic for the land. Okay. Eagle Scout. Eagle. So this Eagle Scout and they're finishing up blazing is aqueduct.
Part of the aqueduct.
Yeah, and I don't know if we actually had.
No, I didn't.
So what I might do is here is aqueduct connector trail update and just kind of tuck it in here,
Okay.
but yeah,
Fine.
ARPA potential projects listed. Projects include paved crosswalk. Well, and one trail. Okay, so
That was a part of the.
it's so let me see for trail. Okay, so it's a little bit it included, so it includes the I'm going to say the Peninsula Trail project if grant funds are not awarded.
Mhm.
Right, it was an if then and okay, with the inclusion of crosswalks, right?
Paved
Crosswalk,
crosswalk,
yeah, 2 crosswalks. Is crosswalk one word or 2? Who knows?
Crosswalk can, yeah, I mean, dash can hyphen.
2 feet, is it hyphen 2 feasibility studies?
Yeah,
one
either
trail
way it is good.
And 1 is be wall, good. And oh, that's 2. Okay, so this might work in the form of a couple bullets. So Peninsula Trail, right? And then
The other would be the feasibility studies, yeah.
ability studies, and
Remove a crosswalk.
like that. Does that work?
No, yeah, up there is the first one, first bullet. Crosswalks, after crosswalks, A. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, looks good now.
Okay. Changes were submitted. The committee reviewed the final bylaw. Council suggestions, specifically line 12.
Line 12, do we still mention line 12?
So this, okay, so this is a tricky one. So the committee reviewed the final document, town council suggestions. Specifically, I'm going to put what it was, specifically the inclusion of language referencing
Trail ownership.
referencing what trails the committee could work on
Okay, yeah.
that the council had suggested removing.
Yep.
Right. And vote on keeping the original language, which I want to be clear, which did refer to that which specified the trails with licenses, right?
Yep.
Easements, for example. Okay. Isabel moved the motion. Tom seconded. Roll call on vote. Tom, yes. Isabel Bogdansky. Tatiana Sharma, yes. Motion passed. Good. Discussion of Will Warren suggestion. Suggestion.
Yeah.
Discussion on Will Warren. Suggestion.
Warren's. Will Warren's.
Suggestion to include accessibility language in the warrant. In the bylaw.
In the bylaw.
Yeah, which goes into the warrant. Committee was of the opinion that this bylaw is not the right document for this amendment, and in the interest of time, we could put this item as part of a Trails Committee Trails
Policies.
Policy, yeah, right. Will, does that adequately represent what happened, and are you comfortable with that? Put on the spot as he was doing something else. back there.
Well,
Vote on Isabel Murphy and will warrant to work on drafting purpose statement to include accessibility clause.
No, that's fine. Let's see. I guess the Isabel that's not here was going to provide some language.
Yeah. So she's not available. She's at work tonight. And so I had reached out. She wasn't able to provide it in advance of this meeting. So she and you, if you want to, do you have her email from our group?
Well, she
email?
has a town email, so yeah.
Use
Yes.
the email I send around.
Okay, that's fine.
agendas.
But if she knows about providing it, that's fine. That would be my only question.
Yeah, if you want to, I think if you want to proactively reach out to her, I know she has a lot going on with work and such. So wouldn't hurt to remind her if she has time to work with you on that. And then at the next meeting, we could get that. I would love to get that voted in May if we could, or at least a draft.
My comment on that is that this committee is putting forth or building or maintaining a sort of a portfolio of trails, and some of them will be accessible for all ages or all abilities, but not all of them, which is fine.
Yeah. Oh, this was our second vote when we didn't remember that we voted the first time.
Yeah. I think that was already voted. That's what I was wondering why we did
Yeah,
the second
we
time.
voted twice because we forgot if no one could remember. Isn't that what I'm?
Yeah, I mean,
Line 12 is this whole thing.
right.
So should I take this out? Then it's
Yeah,
redundant.
yeah,
Okay.
please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say for discussion and possible vote, but they didn't vote that day, but that's okay. I did know that in advance. And next up, presentation on conservation, historical, and capital planning. So yeah, that's fine. We didn't really, okay. We need to document FAQ as a handout during town meeting, including explanation for having associate members. Great, so that's good. Dog waste education trails committee is partnering with stewardship to release the dog waste education campaign content to outreach partners in the next 6 weeks, including yes.
This hashtag, yeah.
SOBO Scoopy the poop. I love it, but that's not quite. It's a little off. Scoops the poop.
Scoops the sorry.
Scoopy the poopy.
I think we should change the.
That is far better than Scoopy the poopy. I love it. Okay, it's twofold. Great. Educate trail users not to
do dog walking.
Oh, not to do let's see, not walk.
Avoid dog
dogs.
or
Yeah.
avoid dog walking.
Along the watershed area reservoir, and the other is general scoops the poop awareness on the parts of the trail. Good. Let's put along the trails along the reservoir,
On the trails along the
which
reservoir.
are in the watershed.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
That work? Okay. And that's good. Logo for dog waste education.
Shed SCS. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Committee members to look at the intro to blurb on website, and dog waste education can include videos from municipalities, from others and dogs, other municipalities and towns, and the dog walking signage on our trails, and send feedback to committee chair. We'll have dog walk signage on Breakneck Hill on 416 event awareness, the sign for share with committee, vote on posting the blurbs. Yep, Isabel moved. The motion, Sati second, nice motion, Isabel motion.
Motion, double motion.
She moves the motion a lot to adjourn the meeting. And
Yeah,
Tom.
that day it was pretty busy. Meeting.
Nice. Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended and discussed at tonight's meeting?
So moved.
And do we have a second?
I second it.
Great. And roll call, Satyendra Sharma,
Yes.
Isabella Bogdansky,
Yes.
Kat McKee. Yes, motion passes. Wonderful. So thank you. I know we're 20 minutes late. I apologize for that. This was a wonderful, we have a lot going on, a wonderful discussion. So thank you for everybody's feedback. Bella, can you and I connect in just a few minutes? Do you have time or would you rather connect tomorrow?
I'd prefer if we connected tomorrow. That'd be okay.
Yeah, of course. Now tomorrow I have a meeting until like 11 or 12. So can it be like midday or how is your work schedule?
I work until 3:30, so anytime after that.
Okay, that actually works for me too. So can I call you? Is it best to just wait until you get home, like 4 o'clock? Sorry.
Yeah, 4 is perfect.
Okay, so I'll shoot for 4 and then we'll connect about the mental health awareness stuff. And great. And then you'll connect with Isabel and try to get us some draft language for next time.
Yep.
Wonderful. And then Sati, you and I on the 22nd are going to rock. How many volunteers? 35?
15 to 20 he was saying, but we are I don't know whether it is combined 15 to 20 that's what he mentioned, but maybe
Okay.
whatever
Well,
be
let's
the
find
number.
some activities for these people to do. Okay. All right, great. So I'm going to call the meeting to actually, do I have a motion to adjourn at 7:52?
Yeah, so moved.
Okay, and a second.
I'll second.
And the roll call, Satyendra Sharma,
Yes.
Isabella Bogdansky,
Yes.
and Kamiki. Yes. So motion adjourned. So thank you, everyone. And so I'll be sending those FAQs around. If you could just get back to me on a one-on-one basis and let me know what you think, and we'll get that out there and get more votes. And I'm sure everyone's going to be a yes, yes, yes all the way down, even though Will is a little skeptical over there. I don't know why.
I think it's a good joke. I really do.
You are just, you're our example of why this works, Will. I'm going to put you up there on stage and see this man. This is why associate members works. This and Tony.
I don't know. I try and keep a low profile at the town meetings.
Okay, so I'm not going to put you on stage. All right.
I don't want
Thank
to
you,
get
everyone.
tarred and feathered.
Hey,
Yeah, right. I know.
night.
All right. Good night. Have a great night.
Night.
And thank you for everything.
Bye. Have a good night, everyone.